Hello classmates, welcome to Mark TV. Keep calm and learn. For this video, we will talk about zeroconditional. I know that you are excited to learn this new concept. Come on and let's widen your horizon. Let's start by defining zeroconditional. Zeroconditionals are used to present, real, and factual information. We use the zeroconditional when we want to talk about facts or things that are generally true. Scientific facts are often covered by the zeroconditional. Let's take a look at this example. If you stand in the rain, you get wet. This statement is true. If you stand in the rain, you get wet. Now, let's have a recap on the parts of a conditional sentence. Can you still recall the parts of a conditional sentence? Very good. We have the if clause and the main clause. In this particular sentence, can you identify the if clause? Very good. The if clause is if you stand in the rain. And the main clause is you get wet. Now, I want you to identify the verb in the if clause. Can you still recall the definition of a verb? Great! Verbs are words that show an action, occurrence, or state of being. Almost every sentence requires a verb. In our example sentence, can you identify the verb in the if clause? Very good. The verb is stand, and the verb stand is in the present simple tense. How about in the main clause? What is our verb? Wonderful! The verb is get. And the word get is also is in the present simple tense. Here is the formula in writing zeroconditional. If clause, and the verb must be in the present simple tense, plus the main clause, and the verb must be in the present simple tense. Is that clear? Very good. Let's once again visit subject-verb agreement. This is necessary in writing conditional sentences, especially in the zeroconditional. The rule is a singular subject takes a singular verb, whereas a plural subject takes a plural verb. Singular refers to just one person or thing, while plural denotes more than one. Let's take a look at this example. Mark. Mark is our subject. Is Mark singular or plural? Great. Mark is a singular noun. A singular noun requires a singular verb. In that case, what verb will we use? Is it love or loves? If you are confused, the base form of the verb love is for plural subject, while the S form of the verb, which is loves, is for singular subject. Now, what is the correct verb that we will use? Very good. Loves. Mark loves reading novels. Let's proceed to the next sentence. Teachers wants the best for their students. When we say teachers, the noun or the subject is in plural form. That is why we need to have a plural verb, which is correct. Teachers want or teachers wants. Very good. The answer is want. Teachers want the best for their students. Let's take a look at this table. If the subject is singular, for example, Mr. Calma, Catherine, Mrs. Sarah, Miss Grace, Ma'am Addie, we use the S form of the verb. In this case, that is writes. Mr. Calma writes. Catherine writes. Mrs. Sarah writes. Miss Grace writes. Ma'am Addie writes. For teachers and students, we use the base form of the verb. That is write. Teachers write. Students write. For pronoun, by the way, when we say pronoun, it is defined as a word or phrase that is used as a substitution for a noun or noun phrase. Examples are he, she, it. Since the subject is singular, we will use the singular form of the verb or the S form. He writes, she writes, it writes. For pronouns we and they, we will use the plural form of the verb or the base form of the verb. We write. They write. The pronouns I and you are singular, but singular verbs do not follow after them. Instead, we use the plural form of the verb. For pronouns I and you, always remember the Barney song. I love you, not I loves you, and you love me, not you loves me. Let's proceed to our next slide. As you can see, this is an example of zero-conditional sentence. The task is to identify the correct form of the verb that we will use. Let's read this sentence. If you blank freeze water, it blank turn into ice. For the if clause, we have two choices. Freeze or freezes. Since the subject is you, what is the correct verb that we will use? Brilliant! The answer is freeze. How about in our main clause? The subject is it. What verb will we use? Turn or turns? Very good. The answer is turns. If you freeze water, it turns into ice. Next. If I blank study hard, I always blank pass my examination. Study or studies? Wonderful. The answer is if I study hard, because our subject is I, base form of the verb. How about the main clause? Pass or passes? The subject is I. The answer is great. The answer is I always pass my examination. Very good. Let's proceed to the next part of the lesson. This is what we call challenge accepted. In this activity, you will just apply what you learned about zero conditional sentences. Let's test your knowledge. The task is for you to complete the zero conditional sentences with the correct form of the verbs in the parentheses. Number 1. If the students blank miss an examination, the teacher blank fail them. What form of the verb will we use? The correct answer is miss, because the subject is in plural form. Plural subject takes plural verb. How about in the main clause? Very good. The answer is fails with S, because we have a singular subject. Next. If I blank wake up late, I blank be late for school. What form of the verb will we use in the if clause? Great! The answer is wake up. How about in the main clause? Very good. The answer is I am late for school. If you are confused, the verb be, we use the word is for singular subject, are if the subject is plural, and am if the subject is I. Number 3. If he blank touch a fire, he blank get burned. What form of the verb will we use in the if clause? Very good. The answer is touches. Why touches? It's because we have a singular subject. Singular subject takes singular verb. How about in the main clause? Brilliant! The answer is gets. If he touches a fire, he gets burned. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. This is your classmate, Mr. Kalma, who always reminds you to keep calm and always leave a mark.